Hey guys, this is ShyGuyJet with my Guilty Crown anime review. First off, I would like to say that this anime is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be, and I'm going to explain why. First off, everybody knows this. Guilty Crown's presentation is spectacular. The art, the music, the design, everything about the general just animation. It's very fluent and smooth, and it's very pretty to look at. And it's the action scenes just look incredible. It's a very good looking anime, and thank God it is with a giant budget that Guilty Crown ended up having. But anyways, it is a very pretty looking anime. The CGI that they included in it does work for it. As much as I hate CGI in anime, because for me 2D needs to be a 2D and 3D needs to be a 3D, and that's just the way it needs to be. But the CGI in Guilty Crown does work for it, and it doesn't bug me as much as it does in pretty much every other anime that does have CGI in it. Now, the story, which is the main talking point for everybody that talks about Guilty Crown, is not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. Now, I can't defend the Guilty Crown story to the end of the world. I really can't. There are some points where it is convoluted and doesn't make sense, and you kind of do have to set aside your like for the series and the characters and the universe to see this. Because, yeah, the people that do complain about the Guilty Crown story do have some points. I mean, there are parts where I very specifically towards the last two episodes of the first season where I was just like, what? This is insane. It was there are parts that are like that, and it's still very enjoyable. And I mean, for Guilty Crown, I feel like you kind of need to not look for the flaws as much in terms of the story, because I feel like with the hate, with the animosity that has very, I think, undeservedly come to Guilty Crown as an anime, I think that you kind of need to look at it from a very, how do I say it, objective, or actually rather subjective, one of the two. The unbiased one is the way that you're supposed to look at Guilty Crown, because Guilty Crown, if you give it the chance, and if you don't actively look for plot holes, as you know, you can't be too cynical with Guilty Crown. You kind of just have to accept some of the plot, elements the way they are, and if you do that, you will enjoy the anime 100% more. And actually, there are some parts where you are actively looking for plot holes and they're not even there. And I had an experience like this towards the very last episode of Guilty Crown. Something happens and it at first it seems like it makes no sense and you're wondering why the hell it happened. And quickly, right after finishing the episode, I went to the forums and I looked up, in a discussion why this had happened, and the answer, the comical answer that someone gave is that it was very obvious. It really was completely obvious that that was what was supposed to happen, and that this was why it happened, and it all just made sense from there. So some of the things you can't just so cynically look for plot holes, because a lot of times you make up plot holes on your own and then they don't end up being there. Yes, Guilty Crown does have plot holes. I'm not gonna defend it to the end of the world, but some of them aren't actually there. The story is actually pretty decent, and it's not as it's not as bad as people say. And I think that people really just need to go ahead and give it a chance. But that being said, when you watch Guilty Crown, just don't turn your brain off completely either, because I do think that the anime as a whole does have a very distinct message that it's trying to get across, and I do enjoy the message that it is trying to say. As far as it being cliche, I think this is a total, just, how do you say? It's something just totally made up from the internet. Just I don't think it's cliche at all. And actually, I even read it in an article in Otaku USA that it was a cliche anime, and I think this is the farthest just form of just, I'm looking for a word, and it's not made up, but it just, I'm gonna say it, it's just it's completely made up. Guilty Crown is not cliche, and I think there are a couple of characters that specifically represent the fact that it's not cliche. There's the character Ayase, who is the girl in the wheelchair, and she is a very independent. She doesn't, despite her condition, she is very dependent on herself, and she likes to be able to do everything on her own. If she ever falls out of her wheelchair, she will not accept help from anybody. She will get back up on it on her own. And other than that being extremely admirable, I don't think that is a cliche in animes. The cliche in animes is the girl to be completely drooling all over the main character and always wanting to help him out and help him get to the next level, and Ayase is not this cliche character. She just isn't. And then the other two characters that I was thinking are definitely not cliche are Arisa and Sota, and specifically for the fact that towards the second season. Wow, I just bumped into that. In the second season, they 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 have a distinct change of character, as do many of the characters in the second season, and I could just cite the second season itself as reason to this anime not being cliche, because the anime gets a much darker, grittier, grimmer tone towards the second season, and throughout this second season, honestly. And I think that a lot of the characters change, and a lot of the staples of what you thought was and what you thought wasn't in Goatee Crown, they just change. They completely change. You from the first season, you think the story is going this way, and it does a complete 180 on you and goes the other way. And this is what I think is a turning point for people who do and do not like Goatee Crown. Other than the fact that the story, yes, is a little bit convoluted, I think that the turning point for a lot of people was the fact that season 2 just really did change everything. And I think that was the right route for them to go for what they were going for, because what they're going for is to get a specific message across, and the message that they had to get across, they had to do what they did in season 2. In season 2, there's so much more on the line. It was a real coming of age, a real just evolution for all of the characters, and I adored it. I really like what they did. I thought it was incredible how they did it. I think they nailed it. I really do. And I think that by doing what they did in season 2, they fulfilled what they were going for, and they got their message across. Other than the fact that I do like grittier animes, I am a big fan. If many people know this already, but not on this channel, but many of my friends, Higurashi no Naku Koroni is actually my favorite anime of all time, and if any of you have heard of it, it is a very dark anime. And I thought it was the perfect route for them to go. Many other people, I think, as I said before, this is a splitting point. Many other people did not like what they did with season 2. So honestly, I think that's why the anime gets so many mixed reviews. And overall, though, I really do enjoy it. The characters are all very memorable. Oh, okay. Alright, bear with me. Most of the characters are pretty memorable, and most of them are likable to an extent, or dislikable based on where you're supposed to really be, where your loyalties are supposed to lie at that specific point in the anime. So, they all have very distinct characteristics and personalities, but there are some characters that are trash. I'll say it completely. They're just trash. They're throwaway characters, and I have a couple. listed right here. I have Karachi, Kurachi, Karachi. Um, this character is garbage. I don't know what else to say. I mean, most of the people. I mean, people that are watching this and have seen Guilty Crown probably don't even know who the hell she is. She's this character. She's like the secretary for the leader of the Kuoin clan, who he himself is not even that prominent, except for a couple minor for a couple plot points. But that's besides the point. This character is completely throwaway, and I feel like we're supposed to rally behind her for like the last couple episodes of Guilty Crown, or at least like her, and she's so pointless. She's like, who cares? Ogumo. I mean, sorry guys, there are probably fans of his watching this video. I think he is a pointless throwaway character. Who gives a crap? Keto, also. I mean, there again. I would be. I didn't even remember Keto's. I had to look up Keto's name, and I knew who he was. He was, he's a green-haired terrorist kid, and he's. I mean, he's barely even there. I don't even know why they went through the trouble of recruiting him to Funeral Parlor in that one episode in the series, and yeah, he's a complete throwaway character. And then of course Canon. Canon is the once again I don't think I even remembered her name. She was that one girl with the glasses that was interested in Yahiro, and and then she was best friends with Hade. And I mean, honestly, I feel like she's there to get Hade from one place to the other, and that's honestly it. Hade is a much more important character in the series, anyways. So yeah, a couple throwaway characters, and those are pretty much some of the cons of the anime, the throwaway characters and the semi-convoluted story. And what I personally like about Guilty Crown is, honestly, I like the overall universe. I like the mythology behind it, and it's something that I can really get into and invest my time in. It's just, I think it's really cool and it's really neat, and I would love to just, delve into the universe once again. I would love for them to I mean, I obviously if they were to make a season 3, it would need to be a little bit spin-offy for those who have watched the anime and know of the ending and know of everything. Yeah, it'd need to be a little bit spin-offy, but I wouldn't mind jumping into the universe again. I found it very interesting. I was very interested in the GHQ. I was very interested in Funeral Parlor, and actually somebody on the forums, they were talking about how it would be neat if they did an OVA that was like an origins of Funeral Parlor and how it came to exist, and I would eat it up. I would watch it. It would be awesome. I would love it. And actually they do have an OVA coming out called Lost Christmas, which is going to be those of you who have watched anime probably already know what's going to happen with that, but it's going to prequel the events of the anime, and I think that's really neat. And it's a universe that I think that was very well crafted by the makers of the anime, and I think I would definitely pay a couple bucks to go through it. And that's pretty much it. I would like to really quickly, since this is going to be one of my first anime reviews for the new channel for ShyGuyJet, I would really like to quickly say what I do with my rating system. I do use numbers, but this is what I personally think with the number system. For me, anything from 7 and above is pretty much a buy. And I know that's kind of weird, because usually when you see something that has a 7 out of 10, you're kind of you're kind of questionable about it. But for me, if I give something a 7, you can pretty much guarantee that you can go out and like it and buy it, and potentially you might want to look into it first, of course. But yeah, I definitely think if it's something that you enjoy, 7, from 7 to, yeah, from 7, pretty much all throughout the 7s, like 7 and 7.5. If it's something that you think you would enjoy and you look into and it's something you like a lot, definitely give it a buy because you'll probably end up enjoying it a lot. So 7 to 7.5, look into it. 8 and above, definitely buy. 5 to 6.5 is something that you're going to want to look into heavily and watch a lot of reviews and make sure that it's something you like. It's something that you might want to watch the first episode online and see if you're into it. And then 1 through 4.5 are the absolute skips, the bottom of the barrel, stuff that you don't want to approach. So that's pretty much it. And for the sake of giving Guilty Crown a number rating, I would give it a 7.5. So if Guilty Crown if it looks interesting to you, give it a shot. I gave it a shot. I watched the first episode, and actually, funny fact, I ended up watching like half of the first episode. I stopped it for a while. I went back to it, and I liked it. I had a great time with it. So check it out. Thanks, and stay tuned for more anime reviews. See you later.